looking forward to seeing how David Shaw schemes against a Lincoln Riley team. Will Shaw have the same success as he did against that other USC coach? Well, he was scheming against Clay Helton, but he was also scheming against Clancy Pendergast, who was not a very good defensive coordinator. And so really you get an upgrade. You get a significant upgrade with Alex Grinch relative to Clancy Pendergast. But, for me, I mean, I know I'm beating a drum, but hey, it's week 2 of the season. We don't have too much of a sample size to go on. One game against Rice is not, it's not going to significantly shift how we think about USC. So it really comes down to, will that USC defensive front stand up physically to Stanford's offensive line? And we can evaluate where Stanford's offensive line is in its own evolutionary arc, its own stage of development. But it all starts with USC's defensive front putting up a fight, making a stand. If that happens, USC wins, period. Like, there's no path to victory for Stanford if USC's defensive line plays well, period. Stanford has to assert itself in that matchup, win that matchup. If it does, then you can imagine Stanford winning in a number of different scenarios, whether it's throwing the ball down the field, Tanner McKee getting a million years to throw in the pocket, or just by shoving the ball between the tackles and keeping Caleb Williams on the sideline. But if USC's defensive front can at least play Stanford's offensive line to a draw, Stanford has no place to go, no place to hide. That defense is not going to shut down Caleb Williams if USC gets enough possessions and enough time of possession in this game. Stanford's offensive line has to clearly win the matchup against USC's front four. That is the epicenter of this game in the Bay Area.
I'm simply interested to watch Tanner McKee play because of Stanford's issues the last couple of years. I got to say, besides highlights and checking in on a game for a drive or two, I've not seen a whole lot of Tanner McKee myself, and the NFL scouts love him. So this might be the best quarterbacking matchup that USC is going to face this year.
Yes, and we've seen Stanford put other quarterbacks in the NFL. Davis Mills was a top 70 pick. I think that was a lot higher on the draft board than a lot of people were prepared to expect. And he's actually looked competent in the NFL. He has lived up to his draft pick, if not exceeded his draft pick in terms of what he's done with the Houston Texans. So, and David Shaw knows what he's doing. And David Shaw is a credentialed coach. Obviously hasn't had Stanford at the top of the mountain the past few years the way he did from 2011 through 2015 when he took over from Jim Harbaugh and maintained a very elite standard at Stanford. But he knows what he's doing with quarterback development, and that's certainly something that has to worry USC.